do you think there's a possibility moving forward those prices will continue to go up in value?
Well, I think they're really stagnant now.
Now might next year be worth more than it is now.
I think that the market's working in my favor. I think the prices are going down because there's not that frenzy anymore. So where's the rush?
Okay, I understand. So tell me again, what's got you looking at houses at this time?
Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. Now, what did he just do? Now, I'm going to let these person. What did he just do? And the sooner you get to it, the better. He did a lot of attempting to understand my situation, which is okay. In real life, you don't have a 4-minute timer behind you. Now he's going to the next spot.
Motivation. Yep.
There you go. Write that down. If you're getting a tattoo this weekend, just write motivation somewhere on your bicep or on your calf. That's pretty cool. Write down motivation is step number 2. All right. You're going to do some fact finding. You're going to get to know them a little bit. And I used the metaphor, I think, this morning. When you meet with someone and start a conversation with them, it's just like going and buying a jigsaw puzzle in the box. You go to Target. My daughter had puzzles galore when she was growing up, and she spread them out on the dining room table. The first thing you do, you empty that all out. Then you put the box up that has a picture on it. Right? We all go through the same procedures. We find the flat edges, and we start then working on it outside in. Well, when you meet someone for the first time, they are a jigsaw puzzle piece or a box. If you have flat edges, there's no picture on the box, though. That's what I want you to understand. And you can't put the pieces together without a picture. And guess how you discover what the picture is? You do ask questions. And every question you start to ask, on the picture on the box becomes a little clearer. And one of the fastest ways to get there is motivation. So with that, I'm going to say, okay, we are selling, or the reason we wanted to buy is because we want our own place and we want a backyard.
Do you currently own?
Oh, okay. That question finally comes out, which is a good one. You all want to get that in there. No, so you asked me if I wanted to own, right?
Denny, remind me again, do you currently own a home or are you renting?
We're renting.
Okay. Now it's starting to make some sense. And how long you been renting for?
About 4 years.
Okay. And you told me you were a little disappointed you didn't get in last year when rates were where they were, but you had a concern about overpaying for the homes. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So looking forward now, when's your lease going to be due? No way. 15.
We're at 15 seconds. We're going to run out of gas. All right, so we'll stop. All right, so let me ask you. I'll just stop that. We'll reset it. Get ready to go again. Another one. So tell me how do you feel you did? What'd you like?
Too slow to get to motivation. I needed that. I was trying to future cast it, and I in my head I couldn't quite get there. I think it would have fell out with more questions. I think we were trending in the right direction, but I wasn't sure how I was going to land the plane.
Okay, fair enough. So, right now, one of the things I want you to work on next time, Adam. You did a good job you went right to isolation, which is good. I didn't hear the acknowledgement. Remember, the acknowledgement, as I understand. Other than that, then you were hanging around the clarify a little bit, and be careful we don't ask too many leading questions. You were asking a question with an answer embedded. And so just ask the question, because if you give them an alternate choice, they may choose the alternate choice that makes the most sense, but it's not exactly probably how they would have answered the question. So I give you a B+ on the rough format of the model. I give you a B on your questions, and you didn't have enough time to get to motivation. Now, does anybody, so you can play again here today, no worries. Anybody else want to pick that up and handle it from a buyer standpoint before we go on to the next one? Jenny, your hand is up. Is your camera available, please? Jenny?
Hi.
Hi. Would you like to handle the same objection?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so we can kind of go back. You've got a fresh 4 minutes. I'm not going to change the scenario. So if you've been listening, you already have kind of a leg up, a head start on what we're talking about. The other thing that Adam did that I want to make sure you guys do, if you're very quickly, In fact, do it early in the conversation. Find out if they're an owner or renter.
Yeah, that's what I would.
Because that'll help you a lot. All right. So the model is you're going to clarify, and part of that, then you're going to go to motivation, and then you want to make sure you get to the pain.
Right.
So those are the steps. You're going to add some, isolate, clarify, what is my motivation and what is my pain? Generally speaking, I'm not sure of my pain. You have to help point that out. And some of you guys are good at that and you like it. Jenny, you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we're renting now and we would like to have something with a bigger backyard.
Right. Okay. I totally get it. And
Hey.
you said the interest rates were the only concern for you at this point?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
What's up?
if the rates are 3%, we're in.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
I'm in too.
Can you hear me?
But the reality, unfortunately, we're not
What's up?
there. I hear some other noise.
Yeah, hey, Neil, just a moment to mute yourself.
You're calling?
Uh,
Yeah, Neil. I thought there was some noise from your mic. Just be careful on that. There you go. Thank you. All right, keep going.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I would like to have a rate at 3% too, no, but let me just ask you real quick. Are you currently, you mentioned you're renting. Have you shopped for rates? Have you talked to your lender to see where you stand at right now?
Yeah, I go to the Freddie Mac website, they always have that, right. I can see what the rates are.
Yeah, I mean, because honestly, right now you can definitely, I would suggest you talk to your lender and see where you at, because really it could be just a couple of $100 difference between your rent and a payment. And I mean, another thing I'd suggest, you currently have in a market of more of a buyer's market, to where, you can get the concessions, you can have a rate buy down. There's many options. Have you shopped for the rate will reveal you a bigger picture of what you're actually looking at.
Yeah, I said, I know what the rates are. I know what my payment is.
Okay. Have you shopped for any properties? Have you seen anything that you'd like?
Sure. We see more homes on the market now than we did back in Easter. So there's some good homes out there, but 7% is kind of nuts.
Well, I get it. Yes. But have you, there's a lot of homeowners right now that are willing to sell, and they offer seller concessions to where we can help you buy down the rate and help you with your payment. Have you considered that?
Well, they're going to buy down to 3%.
Well, not of course, but with your current renting situation, it could be that you're saving just, you're paying maybe just a few $100s over what you're paying for your rent.
All right, so I'm going to stop right now and just stop and see. Now, again, what we want to do is there's a lot of things you can say in a statement. What we want to be thinking about is how can you, rather than say something, how can you ask?
Ask.
I see a lot of tellings going on.
Okay.
So, all right. So, for example, make a couple of notes here. If you want to know how to handle a rate issue, there is a formula for it. Number one, you're going to find out if they own or rent. We just talked about that. Number two, you've got to convert rate to payment. Now, Jenny's talking about it, and I'm pretending like I know. However, she's not asked me what the difference is. So once you convert it to a payment, then you compare it with what they're paying now, whether they're paying a mortgage now or they're paying a rent now. So let's say, Jenny, I'm paying $2,000 a month in rent, and now the new mortgage payment is going to be $2,800 a month at 7%.
Okay.
So now you know what the delta is. So what I want you to remember, it's not the 2,800 you're dealing with. I'm already paying $2,000. It's
right. It's the $8.
Now the next step is, once you convert the rate to the payment and understand what the difference is, the next question is, and just role play with me, Jenny. Now you're the buyer. Now let me ask you, Jenny, that $800, is that an affordability issue or is that a want to issue?
Well, I mean, yeah, we have some money. We can probably afford that, but it's just ridiculous. The rates went up so fast. We just rather have a lower payment, of course.
So just, the first thing she said was important. The rest of what she said, you know, you already got the information you want. Now, if she can afford it and not do it, isn't that a different conversation than if she
For sure.
can afford it?
Yes.
So what we want to do is, okay, so then stay with me now so you can afford it. So let me ask you, I mean, you're renting now, and there's a lot of ways you can start laying all that, what's 100% interest, all this other stuff. And those are great things to say. Like, however, I want to find out realistically, if someone is renting and they want to go to ownership, it's just like, I've got a Ford F-150. I like my truck. It's 2018. I don't drive a lot because I've lived kind of like in a bubble. However, the new ones are like cool and they got new bells and whistles. Is it realistic for me to expect to trade my F-150 in 2018 with 15,000 miles to get a new one and not pay more? So
No.
people generally are already, although they would like to keep it the same, they're already willing to pay more. So let me ask you that $800 in the difference between what you're paying now and what you would have to invest every month. How much would you find palatable?
No, probably half of it.
All right. So for example, then now, okay, now instead of $800, now we're dealing with $400. What you want to do is take that and reduce it down. For example, they might live in an HOA, homeowners association, or in a condominium where their fees are going up all the time. And so, well, you know what, that you're going to save some money there. And so what you want to do is get it down to the smallest number you can. And then finally, you figure out, okay, so it's going to be $200. It's going to be $250. Well, just do some rough math in your head. If John were here on the phone call, he'd have it to 4 decimal places. So that's roughly $12 or $13 a day. And you compare that to their motivation. You see, you want your backyard. Why do you want your backyard? Well, you have a couple of dogs and you like them to play, and then you got grandkids coming over, whatever. Is it worth $12 a day?
Yeah, I see what you did. Yeah, it's awesome.
So
Just break it down.
Listen, you guys, we've been working on this for a couple of weeks. And so what I want you to do is there's a very simple model. You can't get your teeth into rate. What you want to make sure you do is you go into payment. So thanks, Jen.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else wants to step up? We can play again. We got plenty of time here. So I'm going to go over to some. If you got your camera on, I'm going to consider you fair game. Fair enough. So is that Dom? And is that Martin next to you? All right, Martin. I want you to be the buyer or seller, Martin. So give me a break so I can listen. And Dom, do you want a buyer or seller objection?
Liking the idea of a buyer.
All right. And so this is an objection. Martin, you're the buyer. You can come up with whatever objection you would like to have Dom handle. You ready?
That's my objection. Yeah.
Okay, Dom. And again, the model's over here. If you can see it, there's the model. Question-based. And let's go. Go ahead. Now you're going to be face to face. You're at the kitchen table, let's say.
Very good. Appreciate your time, Martin. What questions do you have for me?
Well, we've been thinking a lot about this, and we just don't think it's the right time for us right now.
Okay. So the timing, kind of like you said, right now doesn't work. When would you think it does work for you guys?
Well, we just think the market's going to go down a little bit more, and we might be better to wait a few more months before we do the purchase.
Okay. So it's more of that you're kind of just waiting for things to come down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And let me go back to kind of what started this process. Why did you initially start to look at homes?
Well, we decided we needed a little more space. We have a 4-year-old granddaughter, and she loves the backyard, and we really want a pool. So, that was the thing to play around with her.
Okay. So kid, more space, pool. And then remind me, Martin, are you owning or renting right now?
We own.
You own the home. So with this next purchase, with a bigger place, potentially a pool, would it require the sale of your home right now?
We're going to rent out our current home.
Okay. So you'd be able to rent and then move into this property that is going to be bigger, is going to be nicer for your 4-year-old, have a pool.
Yeah.
And so you talked about kind of waiting for later in hopes that prices come down.
Right.
Now, right now, when you look at the numbers and the homes that you're looking at, does it kind of work in your numbers wise, or is it just way out of range?
It just doesn't seem wise to spend $500,000 on a home that, you know, we think might go down to 400 or 4.25 in, you know, a year when the market
Okay.
crashes.
If it potentially crashes. And that $500,000 home, have you broken down kind of what it looks like for the down payment and the monthly payment, Martin?
No,
Not yet. And then what do you know, with the home that you own, what are you currently paying?
we're in a small little condo, so we're like at $1,700 a month.
At $1,700 a month. Okay, so we're at $1,700 a month. You have this goal to get a bigger home. Your 4-year-old would love the space. I'm sure having friends, family over would be great for you.
Yep.
Would you be interested to know the difference in that of what it would actually cost?
Sure.
Okay. So going from that 1,700 in a kind of a small place that really, I'm sure you guys are feeling that you need to branch out of and kind of move up. So what I'd like to do is definitely kind of figure that number out, because if we can get a number that does work for you, is that something you'd be interested in right now?
Sure. I mean, if the number worked, I mean, the market's still going to crash, but you know, we would certainly go more information.
Yeah. And if I had a crystal ball knowing exactly what the market was doing, I would be playing penny stocks. I would love it. It'd be great. Potentially it could crash. Potentially it could go up. And what I like to make sure we focus on is what's best for your family right now. And it sounds like from what you're telling me, with your 4-year-old looking for a bigger space and also having the potential to rent out your other property, that we could take this next ideal home for you and find a good cost.
Yeah.
And is that, am I missing anything here, Martin?
I don't think so.
Okay. So what I'd love for us to do is kind of look at those properties that fit what your family's looking for, break down the numbers, because potentially it could work out right now. And I want to make sure that we do help you and understand that information.
Okay.
So I'm going to just stop for a moment. Okay. So how do you like his demeanor? Is like very level. He's not excited. He's calm. If someone would be a little bit, you know, apprehensive about these big decisions, I think you would have a calming effect just on the way you're handling it. So if I ever get, you know, the pilots of my plane ever like conk out and I have to land the plane, I would be wanting to talk to somebody like you at the control tower to get me down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you're kind of going, but you've got a little bit more time here. I'll let you finish it. A couple of things though, I noticed that what I like to see, that kind of sometimes we're going to over emphasize, you acknowledge you did not isolate right away. So you want to say, I want you guys to get in the habit before you start digging down into the clarification. Other than that, anything else? So if you said it, I missed it. The other thing that I noticed that, and I'm going to go to you, Martin, and you guys help me understand, because at first I heard you say you're going to rent your home out. And then you were concerned about the market going down, and then Dom is now talking about the difference, the $1,700, and then the cost of the new $500,000 thing. And wouldn't it really be the what it would rent for? And I'm kind of curious why that wasn't coming into the conversation. So, did I miss something?
Yeah.
No, that'd be something I meant. Oh, sorry, Martin. Go ahead.
No, you go. It was your question.
Yeah, that would be something I missed and that I could stick with. I think what I was trying to do is take that original number and see if there was a gap that he was aware of. And if he didn't, which it sounded like he didn't quite have it, he said, I have a price, but I don't have a cost. And so I was trying to see where that gap was, but that was something I missed, Denny.
That's okay. So I'm going to give you time to and kind of finish that idea, because I get the feeling that Martin is being nice to you, too nice. He's giving up ground that I don't think you've earned yet, because I don't know that he's really satisfied. At least as I'm playing the role in my mind, I don't think you've hit all the boxes yet. So forget about I'm not going to take another minute
Could we reverse roles and let me take it from,
Yes.
because
All
I
right.
have an idea that came from the last thing that I'd like to try.
All right, go ahead.
So, Don, thank you. Don, so you mentioned you were going to rent out your current house and you want to buy a $500,000 house. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so interest rates, I think the lender could do about 6.5%. And if we plug that into a handy little calculator here, it looks like that payment might be around the $3,000 mark. And you're currently paying, you said $1,600 a month?
Yeah, we're 1,700, correct.
So 1,700. So that is 300. That's $1,300 more in order to get this house that you can play with your granddaughter in the pool in, right? So if we
Sounds
have $1,300, you didn't expect to go from your $1,700 house to this pool home and not pay anything extra. So was there an amount that was okay with you already?
I mean, you know, we're just starting to look and seeing those $500,000 homes. We haven't really come down to the numbers quite yet.
So would you expect to pay something in 17? Would you expect to pay half more, or I mean?
Well, hang on now. I like where you're going. The danger in that is you're answering. You're going to give him a multiple choice, and you may not get the best answer. So just ask.
Okay. So if you could get that house today, Don, and you had a payment increase, what would that payment increase? What would be acceptable to you and your family?
Now I'm going to give you a thumbs up, guys. What I like about that, what would be acceptable? Last week we had the conversation. I think even John used it. I don't like the word comfortable. When is an increase of payment ever comfortable? So acceptable, I think, is a better word than comfortable. So nice job. Keep going.
You know, we've tried to budget as much as we can, and I think that number probably falls within that range.
The $3,000 does?
Yeah, given, you know, where the interest rates are, you know, that's kind of what we're looking at.
Okay. So based on that, I think we could probably get you into that house. And if we could do that, if that was possible, would you want to go ahead and take a look at some of those homes and talk to a mortgage broker?
Well, you know, we're trying to wait till it comes down.
There you go. Now you're back to it. Nice way to stay on point. Keep going.
Okay, so so Don, so you said you would. So basically, you said you would pay $3,000 a month for this home. You were expecting kind of to pay that amount of money. So actually, to get the benefits of having your granddaughter in the backyard playing in the pool and spending some time with the family and the dog and all of that's not going to cost you anything extra a day, $0 extra a day. Do you think that's worth? I mean, I don't have a leverage there. I don't have like $3 a day. It's not. So I don't
It's
know.
not a money issue. I mean, I think you solved that. The only thing that I'm going to just give you a little sandpaper. You keep saying $3,000 a day, a month. It's not. It's 1,300. No, it's 1,300 more. 13. You can so always go with a smaller number. So what you're saying is the 1,300. You've already budgeted. The 1,300 is affordable for you, correct?
Right.
I'm going to Dom.
Gotcha.
That is, yeah, that's within the range that we're looking.
So now his concern, I'll give you a minute to land the plane here, Martin, is he's afraid the market's going to go down. It's not money anymore.
So now we have to go to pleasure and pain. So that's going to take me more than a minute, I think. But I would go to so right now, Don, you don't have, you're not able to do the things you want to do with your granddaughter. What does that cost you? I mean, what's that look like? How's that impact you and your family?
Yeah, you know, it's why we're looking at a bigger house. You know, we're yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Don, but for me, they're growing up too fast, right? I blink my eyes.
You could ask that. You could ask that. No, you could ask that.
I can ask that. So
have you noticed how fast they're growing up?
Yeah, yeah. Don, have you noticed how fast they're growing up?
I am noticing.
So
Yeah.
let me help you, then we'll go on to the next one. So here we go. So nice job. This is how I handle it. I'm afraid the market's going to go down. All right, awesome. So let me ask you, how far down do you think it's going to go?
I mean, I heard that they said like 20%.
Okay. And it's going to, and when will that happen?
I mean, you hear it on the news all the time. It's got to be soon.
Okay. And then how will you know it's time to step in?
I mean, when it comes down 20%, I guess.
Or what if it's still going down?
Then I guess we keep waiting for it to go down.
Okay. And so I get that. And then what if that time frame there is not 6 months, it's 6 years?
We obviously hope it doesn't take that long.
Well, what if the market doesn't go down at all? In fact, have you ever watched the pregame of any professional sports? Like, for example, let's take the Super Bowl. I mean, they start broadcasting hours before the game and everyone has a prediction, right?
Yeah.
What percent of the people are right?
50%.
Maybe at best. So for everyone that says the market's going to go down, I can show you someone that says the market's going to go up. So let's just say we don't know what the future is. However, how long do you plan on owning this home?
We'll be at least 10 years.
Now you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Because, you know, so if you're going to own it, would you be surprised to know? And something I love this. We said something, made me think of something. If you were at Gary Keller's vision speech, and you can certainly get the graph, real estate does not go down over the long term. And so if you're going to own it that long, I'm just wondering, Don, would there be any problem of any minor fluctuations, 5 or 10 or 20%, if you're not going to sell?
Well, we're just trying to, get in at the right price, not overpay.
I get that. However, over time, it's I guess my point is, if it's 5 years to find that price that you feel comfortable with, what are those 5 years really worth you spending time with your grandkids? That's where you're going to layer in the pain. So I guess I just wanted to model is I don't fight them on their prediction of the future. And believe me, if somebody says it's go down 20%, if you think that's bad, you ought to get on YouTube. There's people that say that it's going to go down 80%. So there's always someone who's got an opinion on what's going to happen in the future. And guess what it is? An opinion. No, that's too good a word. It's a guess. All right. Nice job, you guys. Thanks for playing. All right, Adam, you still got your hand up. Does that mean you want to play again?
Yes.
All right. Buyer or seller?
Let's do seller.
All right. So I'm going to pick someone here. I got Debbie. You could be a seller. I've got, you turned off your camera. That's dirty pool. I got Louise. You could be a seller. Who wants to be a seller? You're muted.
I'll be a seller.
All right. So you're the seller. Adam is the agent, the seller objection. So you can any seller objection. You're either currently listed or you're thinking about listing. Whatever objection you'd like to hear Adam deliver.
Pardon me. I'm currently listed, but I don't want to give my house away. My neighbors sold their house for much more earlier this year.
Okay, and you're listed with Adam?
I'm not listed. I'm thinking about listing.
Okay, you're on a listing presentation. All right, go.
And Louise, what has you thinking about listing and selling your home at this time?
We would move to a different school zone for our children.
Okay. So you've identified where you want to be. Mm-hmm. Okay. And are you going to need to sell your current home to purchase the new home, or will you be able to purchase it and then sell?
We don't need to sell this one to purchase the next one.
Okay. So you're seeing things in the marketplace of interest in the area that you'd like to be?
Yes.
Great. Okay. And so try to help me understand, what is it exactly that's keeping you from moving forward and listing your home now?
So I don't want to sell it for less than it's worth. Our neighbors sold for a lot more earlier this year, and these darn mortgage rates have gone up and impacted the ability for some sellers to purchase. I mean, some buyers to purchase.
Okay. Let me ask you, do you think the market is working for you or against you right now?
Good. Meat thermometer.
With the interest rates going up, I think it's working against us.
The only thing I'm going to say there, that's the meat thermometer, and you can use that. However, is she a buyer or a seller, Adam?
Buyer.
I thought I
She
was.
says she's a buyer.
Well, I think she said she's on a listing interview. She wants to sell. She didn't have to sell in order to buy. So could she be both?
It's both.
So I only point that out that if you've got somebody that's
I
both,
gotcha.
you've got to ask them from what
Still think I
perspective.
got her with that, but
All right, keep going. You're all right. This is fun. You're doing a good job too, Louise. Good job. Here we go.
so Louise, let me ask you, I mean, how are you going to know when it's time to sell your home?
I think we might actually just rent it. I don't know that we would want to sell it with these crazy interest rates and get less than we could garner in a good interest rate market.
So what's more important to you right now? Is waiting to time the market more important, or is it more important to you to get into this school district for you and your family?
Well, we really need to get into the school district.
Okay, now I'm a little confused. So what's holding us all from moving forward on a purchase?
I guess it's just the decision, Adam, if should we sell this home versus rent this home before we buy another home.
I'm just going to interrupt. Keep your train of thought. What happened there was real, very real. It can happen. You could be having a conversation and you're maybe you missed something. Maybe the answers don't add up. Adam did the perfect thing. I mean, when you don't know where you're driving, stop and get directions. So he just stopped a moment. So maybe I'm a little bit confused here. It's okay. It's okay. Versus thinking, well, if I ask a question, they'll think I'm stupid or something. No, just get clarity. Nice job. Keep going.
So I'm gonna try to stay away from the rabbit hole, but I think if the rental amount makes sense, she's ready to go. So I'm gonna go for that. So do you have an understanding of what your home would rent for?
We do, yeah, and we would garner a nice profit, so we could apply that profit toward the payment of our other home.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, the idea of being a landlord, does that excite you, or does that sound a little scary to you?
How does a rabbit hole feel?
I think I'm staying away from it. That was a good one. Wait, let me finish.
That's a good question, Adam. And I've heard horror stories. However, we have other investment properties and we haven't had any issues. So I think we're comfortable with it.
Liar.
Interesting. Now, who's surprised by that answer? Like, oh, maybe that would have been a question to come out. Like, oh, do you have other investment properties? Yeah, we have 34 of them. Something like that. So that's a little bit of a surprise. All right, you got 30 seconds to get out of the hole.
Oh, great. So you have rentals. So you're comfortable acting as a landlord and renting it. I mean, that would, that income could offset your monthly payment on the new home. Yeah, I'm really not sure. So it sounds like so help me understand what's holding you off from buying this new home and getting into the school district. It's so important to you.
I'm going to stop you right there. That is exactly where I think you should have gone and got out of that rental conversation. And so all together, let me see if I can do this, please. So you don't have to sell to buy, right?
Correct.
You want to be over in the school district, correct?
Mhm.
That's awesome. Is there anything, are you seeing some houses in that district you like?
Yes, yeah. I mean, they come and they go, but yeah.
What's stopping you from taking advantage of one of them?
I'm just not excited about the high interest rates of buying another property.
Okay, well, other than the interest rate, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right now. You guys, I gave you the formula. When you hear the word rate, I want you to go to what?
The rate issue formula.
Payment.
Payment. Is that what you said, Louise?
I said the rate issue formula. I put it in the chat for people if they would like it. And yeah, the step would be convert the rate to the payment.
There you go, right. All right, so let me ask you. So you seem like I know you're sophisticated enough to understand the cost. What is the cost? What would be your monthly investment of the house you like based on how much you're going to put down and the interest rate?
It's going to be, I think it's going to be around 3,500.
Okay. Now, so a lot of people won't know. You guys should know. We talk about it every week, a financial calculator. The other thing you guys can have is just kind of know a factor. At 6%, it's about $6 a thousand. $100,000 is going to be 600, right? However, what I don't want you to do is be sending them to your mortgage broker. I mean, you can get them on the phone right away. However, there's a lot of power in being able to have a simple financial calculator to do this yourself. So no, I forgot. You said around 3,000. Is that what you said?
3,500.
3,500. Okay. And based on what would you then be netting from based on what you have to pay for your current home and you'll be renting it out? How much are you going to be pulling in from that rental?
So after the carry cost of property taxes and insurance, because we don't have a mortgage, we would clear about 2,500.
All right. And so would you apply that to then your $3,500 monthly investment?
We could.
Or not. So then technically speaking, the difference would be around $1,000 a month.
Right.
Let me ask you, here's the formula. I gave you the formula. There's a question I should ask right now. What is it?
Is it the one
Nick.
affordability or what?
Yes. Now, I used to say, is that an affordability or a will issue? The will, to me, as I think about it, sounds a little pointed. So is that an affordability issue for you, Louise, or is that just a want to?
I really don't want to have another mortgage payment because we haven't had a mortgage payment in many years. It's nice not having it.
Well, if you sold your existing house, I mean, which is totally equity, that would pretty much eliminate your mortgage payment, wouldn't it?
It would, absolutely.
So why wouldn't you do it? Why don't you secure something now, get your children in the school district you want, and you can get some short-term financing for a while or keep your home as a rental. Why wouldn't you just then, if you didn't want the payment anymore, why wouldn't you just sell your existing house and pay it off?
You bring up a good point. I like the idea of having the cash flow.
All right. So, all right, Louise, what would you have done different? Would you have done anything different there?
I think at the end of the day, I just need to decide if I want to keep the asset and have a mortgage on another property, or if I want to liquidate the asset and have a mortgage.
Well, I guess what's driving the decision is what she's already made the decision. She sounds very knowledgeable, and we're going to have clients who, they're going to be pretty smart. The decision's been made. She's putting her kids in that school district. How? I don't know.
Choice program. They're in the choice program, so we're at the mercy of the choice program.
Yeah.
Real life area, by the way.
I saw another hand up from someone. Where'd they go? There's somebody up there. So thank you, Louise. There was somebody up there. No, they're not there anymore. All right. Anybody want to go? I don't want to embarrass anyone. Oh, there we go. Is that Arnie? Hey, I can't see it. Amin? All right, unmute yourself. There you are. I can't read the name from the TV. It's too far away. What is it? You're still muted. ARN. It's Arnie, right? I can't hear you. There we go. Come on, take your mic off. There we Now, can you talk? This is like dead air, guys. Come on. Are you frozen? All right, maybe your connection's bad. Give you one more second. All right. Who's next? Neil.
I have an objection.
Hey,
Oh yeah, I've been yelling at you. You've been muted the whole time.
Me? I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
So
not Arne.
awkward.
I thought it would say my name up here.
Yeah,
But
that's
I have
right.
an
Neil, you'll be
objection.
next. We're gonna go
Okay.
fast. All right. So what's your objection?
I had one from a buyer that was, I don't have enough money to bring to closing.
After they're already under contract?
No, they haven't, they don't want to even speak to a lender because they're also worried about that bringing their credit score down. They don't even want a hard hit. But it's mainly just the worry of he's like, I don't think I'll have enough money to bring.
All right. So let me handle it really fast so I get to Neil. Okay. You're gonna be that buyer. I'll do this one.
Okay.
So we're having a conversation. So is it Arnie? What is your name?
Sam.
What's your name?
Sam.
Sam. Ah,
Yeah.
there's a name I can do. All right, Sam, let me ask you, do you currently own or rent?
Rent.
Okay, and why are you thinking about wanting to own anyway?
We just rented for so long and we looked at how much equity we could have built and we just regret it. You know, we're getting higher up in our ages. We just need a first floor place we can call our own.
Okay. And you're going to be financing, correct? You're going to be using financing, Sam, right?
Yes, you froze there, but
Okay, I froze. Okay. Yeah, so you're going to be using financing. So have you talked to a lender? Do you know what your monthly investment is in the requirements of money to close?
no, not yet. I was worried about the credit hit. I've worked so hard to get that credit up there and I just want to know what I have to bring first at closing.
Okay, so let's say let's say that, all right, let me get a hold. I have Julie talk to you right now. And so Julie will go through the whole thing. Now you know, whatever the numbers are, it doesn't matter for this conversation. Notice I took care of it right there. Now, based on what Julie just said, do you have the available funds?
It might be tight, but we might be able to make it work. Yeah. I think the only way we could do it is if the seller would pay some of the closing costs. Do you
Okay.
think that's possible?
Well, how much of the closing costs do you want them to pay?
I mean, we can't pay more than $6,000 at closing, so anything
Okay.
to make up for that.
And so generally speaking, that can be done, even if we have to increase the price of the home. And so you can build that into your loan amount. My question is, if it can be done, do you want to do it?
Yes, if it's possible. Yeah.
And there's only one way to know if it's possible.
How's that? How can we know now?
Well, you can't win in any market unless you're in it. We're going to have to go out there and investigate to see if we can find the house and the seller that will work with you. Is that what you want to do?
I do, as long as it's not going to hurt my credit. Do we have to run that and bring it down? I worked so many years to get it up there and save this little bit of money. I
So
don't
let
wanna
me
know
ask you,
how to
that's the third time she said it. So she wants to hear something on this. Why did you work so hard to get a high credit score?
We've been renting for so long and we've had issues in the past getting into places. So I'm trying to keep it there. And same with this amount of money, I don't want to pay for all these inspections and get to the end and realize it's not enough still.
Well, we'll know that before going in. Is that okay?
Yes.
And the lender will have to run a credit report, which may take a temporary hit on your credit.
Oh, no.
So,
I don't want that at all.
okay, well, so then I guess, what do you think? So if it's going to be a temporary hit,
Mhm.
if you would have purchased a year or two ago, you said you'd had equity. How much equity would you have gained?
I guess maybe 30,000 to 40. Yeah.
Okay, would that be worth a temporary 10 or 20 point hit on your credit that's going to go back up as soon as you and faster, because now you're going to have credit and you're going to be making payments. Would it be worth a 30 grand to you?
I think so. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
And by the way, why do people want good credit? So they can borrow money.
Not keep renting, that's for sure.
So is that helpful?
That was, yeah, it's exactly.
Hang
what
on,
I-
Neil, where are you? Where are you, Neil? There you are.
I'm here.
Thanks, Sam. All right, we got time for one more. And what do you want? What would you like to work on, Neil?
Let's work on a seller who is not quite ready to list yet. Says
Groovy.
he wants to list, but still undecided.
Anybody want that? Austin.
All right, so I hear you're thinking about listing. Tell me a little bit about what you are planning on doing when you sell your home.
Well, I'm moving up to stay with my sister, so
Okay, you're gonna stay with your sister?
yep.
And ultimately, what is that gonna do for you?
Well, I'm just gonna be closer to family.
Okay, so you're wanting to buy a home closer to family?
I'm not gonna buy, no, I'm gonna go stay with her.
Okay, so you want to sell your house here and then you're gonna move in with your sister so you can be.
Yep, she wants me to move up there.
Okay, well, good. That sounds nice. So any other reason that you're thinking of selling at this time?
No, I mean, I did everything to this house to make it comfortable for me. I mean, I have a generator, we have all the shutters, and like I said, it's just, she wants me to move closer to her, and it's just me, and the house is just too big, so I figure, yeah.
Oh, you said the house is big, so you got a little extra space that you're looking to downsize a little bit?
Well, basically, I just live in the one room. The rest of the house I don't even use anymore.
Okay. Good. Well, those sound like good reasons. Now, tell me a little bit about your time frame. When are you looking to make this move?
Just no rush. I mean, I just want to get a couple of things done. I want to make sure I have a couple of vehicles I need to move, and then so I'm gonna try and find a large enough van that I can pack all my stuff in and then move the vehicles. So once I get that done, then I'll list.
Okay. And is that something that you're needing help with, or?
No,
So-
no, I'm gonna go look for a vehicle this weekend,
Okay.
and then so
Let me
that'll
ask you a
start the
question. Let me help you. How long is that going to take you?
I'm not
Yep.
sure. I'm gonna go look for a vehicle this weekend, and then I gotta move the other vehicles up. I probably will sell one or two of the cars that I don't need. Yeah, but then, I don't know, probably a month.
Okay, where are you going to take that, Austin?
Yeah, so in the next month. So let me ask you this, Neil. If you had an offer today for a price that you were comfortable with, would that be a problem?
I don't
What
want
a
to list
great
it.
question. What a great question.
I don't want to list it until I'm ready. I have everything in place first.
Take
Sure.
him to pain, Austin. Where's the pain?
Sure. So let me ask you this, because we know that the value of homes are going all over the place. We know that
Give
the
him the
value of
meat
homes in my market
thermometer.
have gone from 300.
Hang on, Austin. Give him the meat thermometer. Or you're new. Ask him his opinion of the market.
Yeah.
I got
Neil,
you. I got you. Hey, I lost you. Where are you?
I'm sorry, we're cutting you off.
Neil.
Yeah.
Based on what you think is going on in the market as a seller, is the market working in your favor or working against you?
Well, a little bit I hear. I mean, I know I lost some value between last year and this year. Interest rates are going up, but homes in here are still selling, so I should be fine. It's only just a month or two.
Okay. And if the interest rates continue going up and home values go down, would that create any problems or challenges for you, Neil?
as long as they don't fall too far, I'm fine.
That makes perfect sense. So let's do this. Let's pick a time to sit down this week. We do not have to list right away, but what I think would be important is for us to sit down, take a look at the market, and start a correspondence so that we can kind of keep a pulse on the market. Because if home values are dropping, I want to make sure that you and I are on the same page moving forward, and that may change some of the strategies moving forward, Neil. So is Saturday morning better, or is Monday at 4 o'clock a little bit better for you?
The weekends are good.
All
Okay,
right, so he
perfect.
closed for the appointment. So, all right, so all right, so let me ask you. Here's what I would want to know. All right, so, and you can ask another question too. Is if they want to wait a week or two or a month to list, is it really a big deal if they have some issues to do? I mean, the market could fall out from under them, sure. However, I guess the question would be this. Neil, I understand that the timing may not be right now. However, have you already made the decision to hire me to help you get your home sold?
Yeah. I think I'll work with you. Yeah.
Now, you might be able to then even go and get an agreement, a soft agreement signed, or whatever your MLS will allow you to go ahead and schedule photos, or there may be ways that you can begin to get into a contractual or at least a handshake agreement. So and that's probably what Austin would have done at the next, well, actually, we were talking to him. I don't know if it's on the phone or not, but you would have done that at your next meeting. So if it's a question of timing, what you want to make sure is they're not telling you, oh, I'm going to do a list later. Ask the tough question. Have you already decided to hire me to get your home sold? Get the soft commitment, even if they're not ready. Any comments on that? Any comments on anything? We've got a minute. You guys did really well today, role playing. I really liked it. John would have been impressed. Did anybody have an aha?
Denny, I have a question. I have trouble getting to the pain point. Do you have any quick tidbits for that?
Well, can you identify it? One, and if you can, is it uncomfortable to deliver it?
So I guess I'm wanting something a little bit beyond. I want to know how it makes them, how it impacts them. What if that happens? Like, I want to go a little deeper, I guess.
Okay, well, let's go to Louise. She wants to be in the right school zone. So what is her pain?
She wants her kids to be in the right school zone. She thinks they're not in the right school zone now, right?
Yeah, I mean, you do love your kids, don't you?
Some days
And-
more than others.
And what about the one that want the grandkids to have a pool in the backyard? What's the pain?
They're growing up too fast and I'm going to miss out.
So a seller doesn't want to put their house on the market right now because, it's not the right time. What's the pain?
So do I press them till I get them to say that, or do I just assume that? Is there?
The beauty of this style is by asking questions, there's never a pressing. Here, I'll close with this and we'll work on this. And I love the question. When they give you the objection, they have a picture in their mind. The rates are too high. I want to wait, whatever. Our only job is to clarify that, to understand what they see and help them see what they're not seeing. Because for their decision to not sell, there's the other side of it. Well, I'm going to wait for the market to come back. Okay, well then you want to sell higher. Yes. Well, what are you going to do when you sell? Well, I'm going to buy a house. So what you're saying is you want the market to go up before you buy? And so you've got to help them see the other side, and you work on it, you guys, and it will start coming to you like this. I mean, if you ever raise kids, we do this with teenagers all the time, or our children all the time. And some of us did a better job than others, but we have to help them see hanging around those people may not be the best for you. Does that help, Martin?
Yes, thank you.
That's always part of the formula. So it's Friday, it's 2 o'clock, and you got people from Delaware. it's happy hours coming. You guys have an awesome weekend. Thanks for being on. And if you can make it to Recon on Monday, I will be there. And be careful. If I can help you in any way, text me 239-851-4600. Invite your friends. Be careful out there. Love you, mean it. Knuckle bump.
Thank you, Denny.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Denny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Denny.
Bye. See Molly from Bozeman.